Anyway, let's move on because we got an amazing, amazing show for you tonight. As you can see, all the great guests here. And the first person I just want to bring on is I have my special friend, Rachel, from Rachel's Remedy. And I'm going to unmute her right now. And Rachel has been just an awesome partner. And actually, she's already unmuted. How'd that happen? Okay. So can we hear you, Rachel? Can you say hi?
Yes. Hi, Shari. Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. So happy to be here. I love working with you, Shari.
Oh, we love it too. We love it too. You know, we just have the best partners, and you're just one of those examples of like just, you know, you become friends, and it's so great to be able to offer, you know, solutions for the topics that we talk about. You know, we're talking about education, where moms are having issues, and then you come along with an amazing solution that I can then give them a tool. So it's such a great partnership in this way, and I love it. So thank you.
I feel the same way.
With us. And I was so excited to. So we did a great giveaway today. We started it this morning for Rachel's Remedy. It was our Flash Sunday giveaway, which has been great. And reading all the comments and having you guys tell me, like, you know, what you love about it. And so if you didn't get a chance to see it, there's still an opportunity to go over to the post from earlier this morning. I think it was one of the first posts I did this morning. Yep. And, you know, you can still get your entry in. I'm not going to be pulling the winners till tomorrow, but we're giving away 3 sets of the Rachel's Remedy. Where's my Rachel? Oh, Joe screwed up.
Oh.
See, and I actually said, could you please get all my Rachel's Remedy stuff? I get to make him like run. That's funny.
Oh, what's up with that?
That's really funny. So, let's do a couple things in the chat room for a moment. First of all, okay, thank you. Excellent. Good job, Joe. Okay. So, I just saw Kate say, hashtag live with you. I'd love for everybody to go ahead and do that because that's what our event is tonight. It's our live with you event that we did. When was that? Like a month ago, Rachel?
Yeah, it was about a month ago, I think. Maybe it was more.
I think it was February, actually, the last time we did that.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Time is going fast. So everybody go ahead and just type in live with you, hashtag live with you in the chat room. That's what we're doing tonight, live with you, exactly what it means. And this is actually our 102nd episode, 102. Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So this is episode number 102. I started keeping track again. We've been doing this since 2010. And this is episode number 102. So there you go.
You make it to 1,000 and beyond.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Definitely.
By that time, we'll probably be able to transport each other.
Exactly. In our wheelchairs.
In our wheelchairs, in my wheelchair, exactly. Oh my God. All right, so let's just talk for a minute about Rachel's Remedy. This is going to be the prize, and then also we have another fabulous prize of somebody who's going to win who's in our chat room tonight. So it's very important. I see all the live with you. I love that. Okay, so it's very important that you like or love this post tonight and that you comment here. Just put your comments here because we're going to be choosing a winner for the fabulous back buddy behind me here, okay? Laura couldn't make it with us tonight. I feel bad she couldn't be here, but we are going to give away one of her amazing back buddies, which everybody loves. So, Rachel, will you tell us, now, because you're here, I'm going to let you describe Rachel's Remedy and what it's used for.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to sit back while you do that.
You sit back on your back buddy, which everyone should have at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, while I was nursing my children, I experienced really common issues that I think all moms experience when they're nursing, like clogged ducts and just general pain and discomfort. And I was getting a lot of clogged ducts. I got mastitis, and I was working and traveling. And so the recommendation was always to use moist heat, hot wet washcloths, or take like 8 showers a day, which is really easy to do when you have a little baby, as all of you know really well. So I also had a doctor who told me to lean into bowls of water on my kitchen counter and just sit there for 20 minutes, just leaning in. So I invented Rachel's Remedy to solve all those problems. And so basically it's just a flaxseed filled pillow. So it's a natural treatment. And then it goes inside this waterproof pouch. And the waterproof pouch keeps your clothes dry. So you can wear this right in your bra and you can go to work, you can go shopping, or you can take care of your children and not have to hold a wet washcloth in place and be shirtless. And it has this removable organic cloth that goes under hot water and gets reattached. And then you just wear it right in your bra. And it is the perfect pump companion because if you use it for 20 minutes before you pump, it can help encourage your letdown and it can help increase your milk supply. So moist heat is really great for really penetrating the skin more than a dry heating pad. And it helps to relieve those clogged ducts, to unclog them, and it can help prevent mastitis and just general pain and discomfort.
Absolutely. I love it. It's like one of those simple, it's such a simple thing,
Right.
but it's like one of those things where you go, why didn't anybody ever invent this? Because I remember, the warm washcloths and then having to just sit there without any top on, and it didn't really work for me if I was out somewhere. And this is great. It's great. And it does have a lot of different uses, and everybody went over to your website today to check out all the different uses for it. So we're going to give 3 sets away. They come 2 in a pack. And so we'll be giving away 3 packs tonight. Actually, tomorrow morning, we'll announce the winners on that. There's still time to go over and enter. Okay.
And they're reusable. And you can use them cold too. And if you're using them cold, we just recommend putting the cloth under cold water, and it's like a nice cooling relief. It's not the icy, harsh cold. So that works well if you need cold too.
No, it's great. Definitely great. Definitely. And the flaxseed, that could go into the freezer too, right?
Yep. Flaxseed, just pop the whole thing in the freezer. And it's nice and cooling.
And so, it's moldable type of ice pack. So
exactly. Yeah. And wear it right in your bra, and so that, it doesn't, you wear it on the go or wear it at home, but be comfortable, and you can wear your clothes and get ready to pump or feed your baby, either way. So it just helps with that letdown and milk supply.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you for describing it. Thank you for the giveaway. Everybody, let's give hearts for Rachel and for her amazing Rachel's Remedy and for the giveaway and all kinds of love for that. So let's get some hearts going across the screen. I love hearts. Okay, so first of all, let me ask, we've got a lot of new people. I don't know if you noticed, but our Facebook page is growing by leaps and bounds. Like
it's
really
crazy.
It's crazy. There's like
awesome.
People every single week. It's so exciting because we have such great moms, and I think what's happening is we just have such a great community. Like we have such a great community. There's good information. Everybody wants to learn, and I'm just really happy to see all the new faces. And so each time we go live right now, every few days, there's like a few thousand more people. And so I would just like to know if there's anybody new in the chat room tonight. If this is your first time with us doing a chat, please say something. Just say, hi, I'm new. We love to welcome new people into our community, and we'd love to see you. So, and we're glad that you're here. So any first timers, Joe's posting for me. See how he's on it right there? He's just like,
oh, good.
He's listening. There you go. Excellent. All right, great. Rachel, I'm going to leave you unmuted so that if you'd like to offer anything while we're going through this tonight, go right ahead. But if you've got a lot of sound going on, you need to mute yourself. Otherwise, you'll keep pulling up on the screen, and I'll keep dropping down.
Absolutely.
All right? I'll leave you unmuted. Oh, look at all the new people. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Maria. Hi. Oh my goodness. Look at all these. Catherine, Sarah, Michelle, Brian. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Welcome. We're really happy to have you here. Okay. So let's move on with it because I got a lot to say. What else is new, right? Okay. Lot to say tonight. We got lots of questions, as you can tell. We're going to move on to Stephanie first, and Stephanie's going to ask her question here. Stephanie's got a new baby right there at home. And so I'm going to bring Stephanie up. I'm going to hold on one second. Let me do the technology here. Okay. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
How are you?
I got my little guy on his pillow down here. So.
Oh, what is he?
For you.
Sorry, what was that?
What is his name?
Bradley.
Bradley, right. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how old is he now?
He's 2.5 weeks.
Yep. I know it was very recent. It was very recent. And we were all waiting for you to have this baby. And we were thinking, did you have the baby yet? So we were very excited to see
11 days late, so.
How many days?
11 days.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's what it felt like. Because I felt like, are you due already? Okay, so Stephanie, go ahead and ask your question, and let me see if I can support you with it.
So when I'm pumping for him, on my left side, I get a lot of milk, but when I pump on my right, I get nothing or hardly anything. And the right side is the one that he also has trouble latching onto. But when he does latch, I know he's getting milk because I'll see it dribbling out of his mouth. I'll hear him swallowing. But I'm just wondering if there's any way to make the pumping more effective on the right side that doesn't seem to want to let anything out.
Gotcha. Are you noticing a difference in the size of the breast or the nipple or the way that it's positioning into the flange at all?
Slightly, yeah. It seems like the nipple's like turned a little bit, but I try to position it in the flange the same way. But it still doesn't seem to help much.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not visible. This is what I'm thinking, even just as you're describing right now. Sometimes it's not visible that you need a different size for one side and a different size for the other. And I'm kind of thinking that you might need a bigger size on that side.
Okay.
Like a larger flange just on the one side may be the thing that will help a lot, because if it's starting to pull in one direction, it's rubbing, and it could be happening just. So that's why flange sizing can be so complicated, because it's not just like looking at your nipple. It's not measuring. It's not any of those things. Sometimes it's just like trying it out. And, I don't know if you have additional sizes with your pump, but
I actually bought the Even Flow single electric because I had to go through so many different sizes with my other pump, and they're so expensive. So I have the different sizes now with the Even Flow.
That's so great. Okay, have you tried using a larger size?
I haven't yet, because I used just the one size bigger on both, and it seemed like it was better. I didn't even think.
Are you using the 28, the larger silicone?
The 32, actually.
The 32. Okay. They sell additional flanges.
Okay.
Okay. So, hey, Joe, you want to get me that box? Of course, that's the one. No, the flanges. So the Evenflow comes with 3 sizes, and then they come with additional. So there's 6 total sizes, but 3 come with the pump, and then there's another kit that comes with the other 2 sizes. Here, it looks like this. And then what you're going to get, which I think this will be really good for you too, because you're using the one right now without the silicone, right?
Yeah.
Right. So this one's going to come with the larger silicone for you.
Oh, okay.
All right. So that's
great.
An accessory kit. So it's an accessory kit that has the larger size and then the one that you're using, but something softer.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and that's why it's so good to have you on, because if I had just read your question, it would have been a whole totally different answer. And then as you started to describe it, I'm like, oh, you probably need a different size. So these are called flange system. All right. So if you look online for that, it's the flange system. And it works with your pump. It's just literally the whole thing just screws on like the regular flange and works with all your parts. Try a bigger one. Could even be the reason why he's having trouble latching to that side too. And this all might change. He's only 2.5 weeks. You're still engorged. Right. Did you have a lot of IV fluids?
I did. I was induced because he was so late, actually.
Okay. So when you've had a lot of IV fluids, and this is for everyone, when you've had a lot of IV fluids in labor, you have a lot of swelling that occurs. So that engorgement can be worse. There's just swelling in your whole body swells from all the IVs, and that can make it really difficult to latch. You might only be noticing it on one side, but it could be as a result of the induction, a long induction, lots of IV, overhydration, all of that. What I would say is first thing, get the flanges so they fit better. I think you're going to be fine with the bigger flange, especially the soft silicone. And then if you can't latch him to that side for another week or so, and you need to just pump that side and just feed him exclusively on the side that works, no problem.
Okay.
No problem.
That's good to know.
You've got enough milk to feed him on one side right now, and that's
Okay.
probably going to be enough.
Okay.
All
Thank
right?
you.
But you still need to pump the other side when you're done feeding. You still need to pump, just not a lot, but just get some of the milk out so that side continues to be drained, because that one's going to be needs to keep emptying. Your breasts are independent of each other in their milk production, and so if you allow one side to keep being engorged, it will eventually decrease your milk supply. And
Okay.
so, all right. And then also try Rachel's Remedy, or, you putting the moist heat onto that side that's not letting down. That could be the other reason. It may not be the flange. It may be that side is just having some trouble letting down. Using some moist heat could help with that as well.
When Rachel was describing them, I was like, oh, maybe I should try that.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Okay, great. Does that help?
Yes, so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being here. So happy to see you in person.
It's good to be here.
Okay, good. We're not letting you leave though. Let's get some hearts. Let's get some hearts for Stephanie going across the screen there. Lots of love. Okay, that's the rule here on the My Baby Experts on this show, is that when someone asks a question, whether they're here with me on the screen or at home posting it, and we answer the question, we get lots of hearts and love going across the screen. There they go. There's all the hearts. And now you guys can see firsthand who's here with me, how nice it is to see everybody in the chat giving hearts while we're doing this on this. You get it now? You get what I'm saying? Now you get why I love it. Why I love it so much, right? Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Okay, so we're going to move on now over to Sarah. Okay, so I'm going to mute you for a moment, and I'm going to unmute Sarah. Let's see. Okay, so Sarah is now unmuted, and Stephanie is muted. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. So happy to have you.
Good to be here. Thanks.
It's so great. This is like, honestly, this is like the best thing I could do, is to just sit with you guys and have you like face to face asking me questions. This is what I used to do all the time for 25 years, as a midwife and as a lactation consultant. I didn't do this all online. It was face to face, or especially in my store. You guys would be walking into my store asking all these questions. And so I miss this so much. So I do this as much for myself as I'm doing it for you, is just to see your face and to answer you directly and get that. We don't really get that much personal interaction sometimes online. So this is a great way to do it.
No, it's great. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So I have a now 8-week-old who is rejecting the breast. So I kind of started with a journey through bad jaundice when she first was born.
Yes.
And ended up in NICU for 48 hours under lights, and she wasn't allowed to breastfeed. She had to be on bottles.
Yeah.
And they used some extremely fast flow bottles when they were in there. And then right after that, she had a failure to thrive, because when she was back to breastfeeding, she was, I guess, rejecting right away at that point as well. Yeah. And so she wasn't gaining weight. And all the lactation consultants that I had seen had told me, look, it's kind of at that point where you're going to have to, exclusively bottle feed for a little bit until she gets her weight up. Yeah. So it took her 3 weeks, and then that's when they gave me the go ahead to start breastfeeding again. But at that point, she was less than impressed. Yeah. So we've tried SNS, and I've done the paste bottle feeding and everything, and now I'm using this bottle that's the special needs feeder from Medela, or the old Haberman, I guess is what they call it. Yeah. So we're having some success, but it's still slow and not consistent and yelly.
She's struggling to nurse. She's struggling to latch even to the nipple on the bottle.
She's okay with the bottle for the most part. She's kind of got a very lazy suck though.
Yeah.
So she's she's usually got her mouth open just that little bit. And so the lactation consultants I have seen have said that she's not using her tongue to the full extent that she's supposed to. I guess she doesn't use the back of her tongue or something like that.
Yeah. I have a question. Why did they direct you to the Haberman feeder?
It was just kind of an idea that one of the lactation consultants I had said just to try, because she said it's had some success in the past through things that she's been trained on. I talked to another one from the same group, and she said they had literally just had the training, so maybe that's why it was in her head.
Gotcha. I just, I wonder because I know the Haberman feeders, and it's a very long nipple and doesn't allow them to open their mouth that wide.
Yeah.
And I'm
can see that
about that because I know that your question is to get the baby back to breast.
Yeah.
And so the kind of training that we want to go forward with is to get the baby to latch with a nice wide open gape, right? We want her mouth wide open, not down on like almost straw-like.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Joey, get me one of the nipples on my desk. Okay, so the thing that I would say here, and so are you using a nipple shield?
Yes.
And does she latch to the shield?
When she feels like it, yeah. So I have flat nipples already as well, so I was already using it before.
Yeah.
So when she does latch, it will be on the shield.
Yeah.
And I've actually tried putting the shield on a bottle, and she'll latch onto that, but she just doesn't like it when it's on my boob.
But you have a good supply.
Yeah, I have an oversupply, so I've got a very full freezer.
Couple things that come to mind when I think of like what causes a baby to, especially with a good milk supply, what causes a baby to not want to latch to even the shield versus the bottle? Because if you think about it, it's very similar. So what would cause her to do that? The first thought I have is the time that it takes for your milk to let down. So like a baby that's been fed a bottle, they're used to that instant gratification. As soon as the bottle goes in their mouth, milk starts to pour. And they continue, and so the milk that's actually going in is causing them to swallow and continue to suck. Mm-hmm. But when she doesn't feel it right away, because even with the shield, she has to stimulate a letdown, and so that may get her to reject it, not suck long enough to stimulate a letdown, and then even though you have a really great supply, it may cause a delay, and even that very short delay could cause her to reject it.
Yeah, I've been trying to actually stimulate it before she latches, and so that there's
I would actually do one step even further. You're using an SNS?
Yep, I have, yeah.
For everybody who's out there who doesn't know what I'm talking about, an SNS, it's a supplemental nursing system. It's where it's a container that you can fill with pumped milk or formula, depending on the situation. Has a tube that actually attaches to the breast so that for moms who are having a difficult time with milk supply or trying to relactate or increase their supply to keep the baby still breastfeeding at the breast. It's a really great tool. For you though, it's actually, you can use it for something else. You don't need the SNS because your supply is good. What you need is the SNS to give her an automatic letdown. And what I mean by that is I would try latching her to the nipple shield, but then take the little tube from the SNS and get it under the shield into the corner of her mouth. Okay, like kind of when she latches, so she's latching on with the shield. You're gonna need a little help with that. Probably your husband or somebody's got to stand there and then just kind of wiggle the little thin tube into the corner of her mouth and let it flow immediately. What that's going to do is she's going to start to feel the milk in her mouth as soon as she latches on, and that's going to get her to start swallowing. The swallowing and the sucking will immediately start to stimulate your letdown.
Yeah.
And it just buys you that 5 seconds that she just won't wait. All right. Yeah. But you're going to actually be giving her some breast milk through the tube while she's at the breast. She'll start to suck, the milk will start to let down, and then you can take the tube out and just let her continue to eat. I would really try that. I have these little finger feeders, which are like a short tube with like a little what do you call it, a little compartment that you could put some milk in. And when I do my consultations and we have the same issue, I'll use a little finger feeder to slide in underneath the shield to just kind of push a little bit of breast milk into the baby's mouth so the baby starts to realize, oh, food, and starts to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would try that when you're doing the shield and get her to stimulate that feeding. The other thing is, when you've got a baby that's rejecting the breast, couple things, and this is just to kind of broaden out the conversation a little bit more than just what you're specifically dealing with, but what a lot of people deal with when it comes to breast refusal is that, it takes time and you have to have patience. And so she's really young and you're going to keep on going with this, and you got to kind of keep yourself patient, because it can take some time to get the baby onto the breast, and then also from the nipple shield back to the breast. And I get a lot of people are very anxious to get off the shield right away. It might not happen right away. It may be a transition. You've gone through all this stuff with her from the beginning, and here you are. And now it's just going to be a transition. Sometimes, 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and you just got to give yourself some patience and time to do that. 2 main things that you want to keep in mind for anyone who's experiencing breast refusal, where the baby just literally is not latching, or maybe they were and then they stopped. 2 things that have to happen. One is main things, okay? One thing is that you need to make sure that you're maintaining your supply. So that means if the baby's not breastfeeding and the baby won't latch the breast for whatever the reason is, it's super important that you keep up with a good pumping schedule and you keep emptying the breast frequently and effectively, because here you have one issue where you're dealing with latch issue. You don't want to create a secondary issue where now you're dealing with supply issue. And I always feel like, if we can maintain your supply, at least we don't have to deal with that. And it's going to make it so much easier for the baby to go back to breast. But if you're not pumping frequently or you're using a pump that's not effectively removing the milk, or flanges that don't fit, or all those other things, then now we're going to be dealing with 2 issues, which is way, way harder. So the one thing is make sure you're maintaining your supply. The second thing is if the baby just literally refuses to latch, feed the baby. Okay, that's really very, very important. I hear all the time, sometimes, usually with older babies, I'm just going to wait because eventually the baby's going to get hungry enough and they'll latch. That's not the way to go. You're going to try, and the baby still needs to be fed. So if it doesn't happen at that feeding, we need to feed the baby, whether that's with a supplemental nurser, finger feeding the baby, or bottle feeding, or cup feeding. There's lots of different ways to do it, but you have to feed the baby. So, and ideally with pumped milk from you. If that doesn't work, there's donor milk. And then if that doesn't work, there's formula. So there's in that order, okay, in that order, and there's all that available. But you do need to make sure that the baby's eating. When the baby gets too hungry, over hungry, the baby can get frantic. That's not good, first of all, for your baby's blood sugar, for their well-being. And it's also not going to help to facilitate the latch. So a frantic baby is not going to latch. And so when you're trying to, Sarah, and I don't know if you've noticed this for yourself, the baby's crying and crying and crying, and it's going on for, 10 minutes, stop. I would give it about 10 minutes or so of trying. And if it's not working at that point, bottle feed the baby, cup feed the baby, do something else, and then try again with the next feeding. Forcing the baby to the breast can actually keep creating an aversion. You're never pushing the head into the breast. You're not forcing the baby. You want the baby to come to the breast willingly at some point, where this was to be a very a good experience, not a traumatic experience for them. And so we don't want to put that on the table where they feel traumatized by being forced to the breast. So that's really, really important. I know that you had said that you're doing a lot of skin to skin, which is excellent. So skin to skin is going to help to encourage breastfeeding. It stimulates those natural instincts in the baby to latch. It really does. We are mammals. Babies have reflexes and instincts. And when the baby is held skin to skin, like bare skin to your body, it stimulates those reflexes to kick in, right? Which she may not have had right in the beginning. So now we can make up for that by doing more of that now. Bathing with the baby, skin to skin, wearing the baby. Do you wear her a lot?
I try to. Yeah, I've got a 3-year-old, so sometimes it's the only thing.
It might actually be easier to wear her than to put her down. So I would just say, like, wearing her is a really important thing right now. You can't underestimate that skin to skin and closeness to your body and how that impacts your breastfeeding. You cannot underestimate that. I honestly, this is one of the biggest things that you can do to keep stimulating her to want to nurse.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I wanted to show you this too, because not that, this is a nipple. I want you to see the difference in this nipple.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see how that slopes down? And what happens is when the baby goes onto a nipple like this, because a lot of people think that you need to have a nipple that's like either long, like what they gave you. And I've never actually heard of what they're talking about. That's why I'm asking a lot of questions about that Haberman for this particular purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know what course they took, but I would love to know. The other thing is many moms think that, the best bottles to use for a breastfed baby would be one that has like a wide neck, flat with a nipple, because it looks like a breast. Okay. That's not how they actually suck on it. So although it may look like a breast, it's a very big that's a marketing tool to say, looks most like mom's breast. Okay. What happens is on those flat nipples with a tip, they latch to it like a straw. So their lips close on the tip of it. Okay. What we want is to get them to open wide. And then the way this goes in, I don't know if you could see it, the baby's lips are going to actually rest on the rim of this nipple. So you can imagine what's going to happen is a nice wide open mouth.
Yeah. Which one is like where do I get those?
This is even Flo's new balance bottles.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they're new balance bottles, and it was actually designed by a different IBCLC, not me. Okay, I don't really work with their bottles, but I'm bringing it out for you to see because I think this would be way better for your baby than a Haberman feeder right now.
Okay. Yeah, because the other ones I had been using is common.
I want her mouth wide open, not closed.
No, that makes sense.
Awesome. Did that help?
Yeah, I'll give that a try and hopefully.
Yeah, patience. Okay, it's going to take a little time. And if you could get her on that shield, don't even think about when you're going to stop. I'm saying that right now.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I'm saying that is because it will end. If you could just get her to breastfeed with the shield, that is breastfeeding. Okay, that is nursing. That will work. And if that's the first step. So we're not going to think about step 10. We're going to think about step 1. How do we get her to just nurse with the shield? And then later we'll deal with how do we get off the shield into the breast. And I can tell you just from my experience in working with thousands of moms, okay, I have never had anybody who had to use a shield the entire year if they didn't want to. Never.
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually the baby goes to the breast. I think maybe maybe have had one case of very severely inverted nipples, and that mom was just super happy to use the shield because it was the only way. But even moms with inverted nipples I've seen go to the breast. So I just don't see it. So don't worry about it. It will happen. I don't know when. It could take a month. It could take a week. It could take 6 months. I don't know, but eventually it will end. And this way you're at least breastfeeding.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that it might actually end at some point. Right now it feels like I'm not winning.
It feels like, how old is she right now?
8 weeks.
Anyway, yeah. So, right now, everybody, I'm sure everybody can relate to this. Like right now, when your baby's 8 weeks old, 4 weeks old, like Stephanie, 1 week feels like a year.
Yeah.
A week in the life feels like a year. Okay. It's only been 8 weeks and you had a lot going on in the beginning. So just give yourself some patience and time, and it's going to get better fast. Just keep doing step by step each day.
Okay. I usually start with the bottle too. Do you just recommend like starting with the shield instead, or?
I would start with the shield and the SNS flowing a little milk into the corner of her mouth and get her to start latching. Offer her the breast first every single time, not the bottle. After 10 minutes, if the baby's like really struggling after 10 minutes, stop the whole thing and give her the bottle and wait for the next feeding. If for some reason she is just crying and she's super hungry, you may want to start with the bottle. If for some reason she's super hungry, it may not be the best time to try the breast. So then in that case, give her the bottle for just like a quarter of an ounce or half an ounce, just to take the edge off a little bit, then put her onto the shield. But try not to wait till that happens. Anticipate her waking up, see her starting to move. Don't wait for those late feeding cues, like early feeding cues. Baby's starting to wake, there's only one reason: she's hungry. If she's starting to wake up, don't even question it. That's the reason she's waking up.
Yeah.
Get ready, sit down, get the shield on, get the SNS ready, and start. When she's half asleep, just really like getting like awaking and arousing, that's the best time to put her on.
Okay. I will give that a try too.
Good luck. Let me know how it goes, okay?
Yep. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Hearts for Sarah. Hearts for Sarah, everybody. Awesome. Thank you for being with us, Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go. Keep going here. See how we can talk all night, and I will. I don't care if you guys want to hang out. I'll keep going. So it's fine. We are going to hear from Cassie right now. Hold on a second while I unmute Cassie. And what? Okay. Okay, Tanya's still on. Yeah, I see. Okay. I see her, but I guess she's not on the screen. She's there. She'll be in a minute. Okay. I see her. Okay. Cassie, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
All right.
You're like, yeah, just doing all right. Doing all right. So how can I help you? What was your question?
So my 5-month-old son hasn't really been taking to the solids. I nursed him before. I'm wondering if I might be nursing him too much, that he only takes like a few little, like the tips of the spoon, like 6 of them at a time, maybe, if that. If he might just not be ready to go to solids, or if I'm making him full by nursing him first.
Great question. Okay, so you just answered the question in the way that I was going to answer it for you, which is he's probably not ready for solids. And 5 months is kind of early. You're breastfeeding? Yeah. So 5 months is early to feed your breastfed baby. I probably wouldn't start till 6 months. Okay, that's usually my answer is to wait until 6 months with a breastfed baby. Formula fed babies can start a little bit sooner, around 4 to 6 months, but with a exclusively breastfed baby, meaning breastfeeding either exclusive breast milk at the breast or from pumping, I wouldn't start solids till 6 months old. And the majority, his nutrition needs to be coming from breast milk. All right. And there's other things. So it's like the physiology of your baby. First of all, their gut is not ready for solid foods. It's not ideal for them, especially with exclusive breastfeeding. You want to just keep giving breast milk till at least 6 months, sometimes even longer than that. Not all babies are even ready for food at 6 months. It's just that I say minimum 6 months. Okay. Some babies are not ready for food till 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, which is still fine. They're getting everything that they need from the breast milk, and that's actually where they should be getting it from. And then there's like the mechanics of a baby, like what makes a baby ready. Where are we getting that feedback? Let's see. I'm hearing some feedback. Hold on one second. No. Is that Rachel? Okay. It's from Cassie. Cassie, I'm going to mute you for 1 second. So, there's the mechanics of feeding, of eating too. And it's, the baby needs to be physically ready for it. What happens with an infant is that they have what's called a tongue thrust. Okay. And that's important for breastfeeding. If you think about the way the baby feeds at the breast, when a baby latches to the breast, the tongue is actually pushing out during the feeding. Okay. And when you go to feed your very young baby, they keep spitting it out, but they're not really spitting it out. It's just that the tongue thrust hasn't stopped. And when you still have that tongue thrust, you can see that it's really not time to start solids at that point. I just unmuted you. Is that something that you're seeing with him?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Mostly he's trying to grab this and put it in his mouth.
Yeah, you know what? I would let him, if he's interested in playing with the food or touching the spoon or using it, let him just explore at this point. It is not about the food or the quantity at all. It is literally just getting him used to like picking up food, touching it, and the tactile part of it. He might get some into his mouth. He may not. It's really not important. And actually, you don't even have to start that for a couple more weeks. I'd wait till 6 months and try again.
Okay.
What is it that you're feeding him?
I was giving him a mixture of breast milk with a little bit of the rice cereal, just to see if that's what he was interested in.
So that's the other, and that's why I'm asking the question, because I actually wouldn't use rice cereal at all either. It doesn't, that's a very, kind of one of those old recommendations, and the pediatricians, some of the older pediatricians will still recommend, starting with rice cereals. I don't feed babies rice cereal ever. Okay, where that used to be the recommendation to start with rice cereal, there's really no nutritional at all, and rice cereal is just really just sugar. So there's just no reason. There's no nutrition to it. There's no reason for it. When he hits 6 months, if you feel like he started to get ready for solids, I would start with vegetables and avocado and some other things that are way better to start. There's no reason you need to start with rice cereal, and there's really never a reason to even have to feed rice cereal. Okay, so I would just stop altogether. Go back to breastfeeding and keep enjoying it right now. Let him get as much breast milk as he's actually very smart. He's telling you, I really don't want that, mommy. So, no.
He's already outsmarting me.
He's already outsmarting you. You know what? They do know. They do know. So if you can follow, and it's great that you're paying attention. You're such a good mom, like watching him, and you're saying, okay, he's looking like he doesn't like this, and not forcing it on him, but actually like writing sending me the question and posting that here to our page and saying, it doesn't, something inside of you saying this doesn't quite feel right. And I want to make sure that he's getting enough breast milk, or I want to make sure that I'm feeding the right, something inside of you is telling you that it wasn't the right thing. And he's actually telling you too, I don't want it. Just feed me the milk, because that's what I really want. And he's right. And that's what he needs. So. Okay. The food that they get in the first year, you'll hear people say things like, food before one, just for fun. Yes and no. Okay, so let me just address that for a second, because that is true that breast milk is their main source of nutrition that first year, and it absolutely is the most important part. And you're going to nurse him before you actually give him the feeding, so that you make sure that he's getting enough breast milk. But at a certain point, after 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, it is important to start introducing them to solids, getting them used to different flavors and textures, and getting them to start eating. Those are all important milestones in development. It's part of the weaning process. Even though you're going to keep on breastfeeding for a while, weaning is a long process that can take years of, where we actually start to introduce solids. That's actually part of like that transition. And it's a transition time that we start, and then you can continue to breastfeed for 2-3 years, however long you want. But we do need to introduce solid foods at a certain point. Do a little bit of reading about what are the healthiest first foods to eat, to give your baby. Okay. And you'll see it's not rice.
Yeah, sugar, no.
No, exactly. You guys agreeing with this in the chat room? I know they are. I know I can't read it right now, but I'm sure that they're agreeing with that right now. And let's get some hearts going. Why did this stop? Okay, there you go. Yeah. So, I think you're doing awesome. You have a good milk supply. Everything's fine with that, right?
Yes. We're doing good with our milk supply.
Don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Rachel, did you want to say something? Oh, she's muted. Hold on. Why'd you get muted? There you go. Go ahead. You can speak.
Okay. I was just going to add about the rice cereal that I think everyone that used it first has the same story, that then their breastfed baby got so bound up and then had a lot of problems with constipation. And that's like the biggest cause of it, is that rice cereal is so binding.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. It's old school, old advice, and you'll hear the pediatrician still recommending it, but it is not the recommended first foods. So, or second food, or third food, or ever food, or ever food.
Right.
Not necessary. Okay, excellent. Look at how fast this. Okay, so we are going to move on right now. Let me just, first of all, before I bring Tanya on, I just want to talk about the Back Buddy, because the Back Buddy, you guys see me with this all the time, and I always have one behind my back. And I'm not just saying that. I've got them all over my couch. We use them in bed. We have 3 of them here. Thanks to Laura, who sends them so we don't fight here in the family. But this is our prize for tonight for chatting in the room. So, and I know you guys love this, and you wait for this night each month to be able to win one of the Back Buddies. It's a contoured back support pillow with really amazing non-toxic foam inside of here, so it's not off-gassing or creating any exposure to the baby. It's going to really support you right through the pregnancy, right through breastfeeding. It's great so that, like, you know, when you're sitting in the chair or you're sitting on the sofa and you're not sinking down, super important to be held and supported, because that's what's going to, support your back and your posture so that you're not killing yourself. But at the same time, when you're supported well, you're going to get a much better latch from the positioning in the latch of the baby. Bless you. So, so when you're positioned well, you're going to latch better. That's going to help to get the milk out faster. So there's a whole bunch of different things that go with it. Laura is a nursing mom. She was a nursing mom of twins and then another daughter, and her husband's a chiropractor, and the 2 of them designed this together. So you really get it. When you use one of these and you're like, oh my God, this thing is so comfortable, so well designed, you realize it's a chiropractor and a breastfeeding mom who designed it. Well, that makes total sense. And then there's ones that have zip off covers so they can be washed, and just love it. And I've been working with Laura for a long time, and I love this Back Buddy. So if you guys want one, yeah, I know you want, I see them all here. Back Buddy, yay. Okay, so all you have to do is comment here. You can just say, I want a Back Buddy. Okay, you can put that in the comments. I want a Back Buddy. And I was posting the link right there, and you can just like and love this post, and we're going to pick a winner for the Back Buddy. So yay, Back Buddy. Hi, Laura, wherever you are tonight. So, okay, let's bring Tanya on. Hold on a second. There's Tanya. Hi, Tanya.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm awesome.
So good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, isn't this fun?
It is.
I
was a little nervous at first, but it's fun. Yeah.
Right? You know what? Everybody always gets so nervous about coming on, and I'm like, it's just so much fun. And what winds up happening is when we get done with it, everybody goes, oh, let's do that again. It's fun, and it's, you know, it's like we're just sitting and having a conversation. So what was your question?
My question was, while breastfeeding, do you have to give your baby vitamin D drops, or do I take vitamin D vitamins?
Excellent. And that was an excellent question. I was so happy you asked that, because it's a question that so many moms are wondering, and getting a lot of advice from their pediatricians. And here's the answer to that. Okay. And you kind of hit the nail on the head right there. Babies need vitamin D. All people need vitamin D, okay? But does a breastfed baby need vitamin D? It all depends on your vitamin D levels and whether you're supplementing with enough vitamin D. So it's not just that you're supplementing some. You have to be supplementing enough for your breast milk to have plenty of vitamin D where the baby does not need any vitamin D extra. Okay. Vitamin D is a super important, they call it a vitamin, but it's really like a hormone. Okay. And what it is, there's no way to really get it in your diet. You can never get enough vitamin D just from eating foods. The way that our body creates vitamin D, it happens from sun exposure. So when our skin is exposed to enough sun exposure, and I mean on a daily basis, with enough of your body exposed to the sun, your body will naturally produce plenty of vitamin D where you don't need to take any supplements. That's how we were supposed to get vitamin D, to be exposed to the sun. That's all well and good, except for like all our Canadian friends and me here in New Jersey, where half the year we're not outside. We're not exposed to sun. And when we're not getting it from our diet, and we're not getting it from our food, then it is really, really important that we supplement with vitamin D. It's one of my biggest recommendations of all supplements to take in all levels to check. This is the one, especially when you're pregnant and when you're nursing, but anytime. Vitamin D, they used to think it just had to do with your bones and making your bones strong. It's so much more than that. It is all about preventing illness. So when we talk about going into winter season and flus and colds, the number one thing that I can think of to prevent you from getting sick or your baby, for you to build up your immunity is to make sure that your vitamin D levels are good. That's actually what helps you to stay healthy. It also has long-term consequences in prevention against cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, all kinds of things that people are just not aware of how important it is to make sure that your levels are adequate. The thing about vitamin D is some vitamins are water soluble and some vitamins are fat soluble. And what that means is, when you take your prenatal and then you pee yellow because half of it goes into the toilet, those are water soluble vitamins that you can't overdose on. You just take them and they go right through you and you pee them out. Like vitamin C is one of those. Okay. Vitamin D is not a water soluble vitamin. It's a fat soluble. And that means that you can take too much. So you want to be checking your blood work as well, having that done maybe every few months, just to make sure that you're not taking too much vitamin D, but then two, that your level is where it should be. And I like to see levels way above 40. Okay. So when you have your blood work done, 40, 50, those are good levels of vitamin D and even higher. Okay. But it's a chronic thing, especially in our country, for people to be extremely vitamin D deficient. And during pregnancy, that can create major complications like preterm labor, gestational diabetes, preeclampsia. So these are, increases your risk of C-section. So you can see what I'm talking about this is what the research has shown. It's super important. And so for pregnant moms, so if you're out there and you're pregnant, you want to be taking at least 4,000 international units per day. Okay, that's the recommendation if you're pregnant, 4,000. And if you're nursing, it goes up to 6,000 units per day. Okay, so that's the supplement that I would take. First, I would start with talking to your doctor, get the blood work done, see where your levels are now. Okay, get that checked. And then start a supplement with 6,000 international units per day. Take that every day. And then you can check it again in a few months. But as long as you're taking the 6,000, the breast milk will have have plenty of vitamin D in it that the baby doesn't need any supplementation. Okay. It's only when you're not taking any supplementation and you're getting no sun exposure and you're taking less than 5,000 units a day. In those cases, I'd say, yeah, the baby probably needs to be supplemented. So it's the easiest way is just to make sure you're getting enough and then monitor your own levels to make sure you're not overdosing on it. Okay. And 6,000 is a minimum. Some people require even more than that to get their levels up. So start with 6,000, get checked and see where you're at after a few months of that. And it may be that you need even more. Okay. It brought up, I had a thought with the vitamin D too, is that, a lot of moms, so that's for breastfeeding moms, right? What about formula feeding moms or moms that are combo feeding where you're breastfeeding and also supplementing with formula? Because like I said, vitamin D is Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. You could actually give the baby too much if it is in formula. So they're already putting it in the formula and then you're getting it in the breast milk. You want to make sure that you are adjusting for that so that you're going to see, how much is in the formula. And I think it's and there's a big range. I think it's like 40 to 100. I can't remember. I think I wrote it down. 40 to 100 units per 100 calories of formula. So it's like a calculation. Just want to keep that in mind. Be aware of that, because I see formula fed babies that are exclusively formula fed. There's vitamin D in it. And then the pediatricians are saying, and take vitamin D on top of it. Might be too much.
Okay.
All right. A kind of a complicated answer, but it is a little bit of a complicated discussion. But does that make sense to you? If you're taking it, you don't need to do it?
It does, yeah.
I feel like that with all vitamins and breastfeeding, by the way.
Okay.
So breastfed babies do not need vitamin supplements. Okay, so the liquid vitamins that are sometimes given out for all babies, they do not need vitamins. It is as if saying that there's something deficient in your milk, which there isn't. The only thing that could be deficient is vitamin D if you're not getting enough sun.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's perfect.
Okay.
Good?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for asking the question. Awesome. All right. Fantastic. Okay. We have one more person here, right? Did I get to everybody except Carmen? Yes. What? Hearts for Tanya. Let's get some hearts. Joseph's yelling from the other room. Hearts for Tanya. Yes. Excellent question. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. So let's bring Carmen on. There we go. Hi, Carmen.
Hey.
How are you? Good, good. Thanks for being here. So happy you guys are here. Go ahead and ask your question.
My question is about my supply. My 6-week-old, I'm breastfeeding, I'm pumping, I am taking fenugreek, 3 times a day, 2 capsules. And when I pump, I'm getting less than an ounce. It takes me about 5 days to get to 2 ounces, and I don't know what else to do for my supply.
Your baby's how old?
6 weeks.
And she, right? She's exclusively breastfeeding?
I have to supplement with formula because she eats a lot. She's doing 4 ounces now.
Okay. How often are you supplementing?
I do it every feeding because I don't feel like she's getting enough.
So how long have you been doing that?
Since the hospital, she was also jaundiced, so I had to do the formula to flush her out.
Okay. Well, that's a whole other conversation about like what happened in the hospital. But at this point now, here's what I'm going to say to you. I'm not so sure that it's not the formula. It's causing you to have the low supply. If you continue to do that much formula, you're going to have a really hard time building your supply back up. Your body is responding to exactly what you're telling it. And from the very first day, we're telling the body that we don't need that much by giving all that formula. 4 ounces of formula is quite a bit. And so when you feed her that much, she's not that hungry. She's not going to suck at the breast that long. And then you're just going to make less. And so all the fenugreek in the world is not going to make up for the fact that she may not be staying at the breast very long. She does nurse first.
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. How often are you feeding?
Anytime she yells and it's not a dirty diaper, she's on the boob.
Is that like every 2 to 3 hours throughout the day and night? Okay. And then when you go to feed her, does your breast feel full? Like, can you feel like your breasts are filling up?
No, they actually feel kind of flat, like kind of empty, I guess.
Okay. And when she goes onto the breast, does she suck for a length of time?
Yeah, she stays on there quite a while.
Okay, but can you hear swallowing while she's on there?
hear the sucking. I don't hear swallowing.
You don't hear swallowing. Okay. Okay, so you're at the point right now where you've probably decreased your supply quite a bit by all the formula, and it doesn't mean that you're not able to get your supply back, but it is going to be a matter of working with somebody right now. I don't know if you have access to a lactation consultant, but remember earlier we were talking when Sarah was talking about was Sarah who was talking about using the supplemental nursing system. Okay. I would be exclusively using something like that to keep her at the breast and not giving her 4 ounces of formula afterwards. What's going to happen is when you keep going to that bottle and doing 4 ounces, she's going to guzzle it all down, and then she's not really going to keep eating at the breast. Even though she stays on, not really sucking to eat. It's more like sucking to like soothe herself. Okay. So I would start working with somebody right away. You're in a situation right now where there's a lot sometimes moms will say to me, I'm breastfeeding, and then, once a day I supplement with an extra bottle, or I'm doing like a half an ounce of formula with each feeding. If that was the case, I would say, okay, you could probably start weaning back on the formula and just start doing more frequent nursing, and that's going to start to bring it back up. Where you are right now, without being right there with you and actually weighing the baby before and after the feedings and actually seeing, is there any milk right now? I can't tell you to go ahead and stop the supplementation. You need to, because at this point, that's what she's eating. But I would start working with somebody so that you could possibly start doing some of these feedings at the breast, and then together with the lactation consultant, start weaning down from the formula and start building up your supply. Okay. Pumping too. Do you have a good breast pump?
I have a Spectra too.
Okay. And so what you want to do is put it on both sides at the same time. And you want to be when she's eating all the 4 ounces, you need to do some pumping to try to get some of that milk out. I would like to know if there's any milk, even there, after the feeding, if she's actually latching and getting it and expressing any of the milk, or if there's anything there to still get out. You really need to work with somebody. If you want to make this work, it's important that you get connected with a lactation consultant in your area that can work with you directly right away. Right away. You're so early into this whole process that it is possible to relactate and bring the milk back.
Okay.
The longer you wait, the harder it gets to do that. But what you're doing right now, where you are right now, you can turn this around. You just need real support with this.
Okay.
All right. And I don't feel like I can tell you start weaning back on your formula. I don't know how much milk you have.
Okay.
Make sense?
Thank you.
Okay, sweetheart. Make an appointment right away. The longer you wait, it'll be harder.
Okay, thank you, Shari.
And keep me posted. I want to know how you're doing, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Oh my goodness. Look at how fast this night goes. I don't know if it's just me or if all of you. I think it's like, every week it feels like that. I'm unmuting everybody right now. Okay. Let's get some hearts. We need some big hearts going across the screen for Carmen right now. Sending you lots of love. And we know you got a little bit of a road ahead of you, but I know you'll be able to do this. And I'm glad that you were here tonight with us, Carmen, to talk about it and hopefully get somebody good to work with you. Okay.
Carmen, private message me your address and I'll send you a Rachel's Remedy because I want you to try that too.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Rachel. And for everybody who joined us, you all get my whole curriculum of classes after this, okay? So you're all going to get all 3 of my online classes to watch. And I'm just so happy and so grateful to have you all here and that you all did this with me. Did you guys have a good time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to put it into Brady Bunch mode right now because I just love that. I love seeing the screen. So let's do, Joe's doing the song. Okay, there we go. There's everybody together. Did you guys have fun at home? We're getting tons of hearts and likes going across the street. I think that they enjoyed this. This was a fun night. I mean, listen, I could talk for hours just seeing your faces one after the other. And if you want to do like a power session anytime, like on a Saturday afternoon, we could just keep going as people want to join us in the chat room. I'm totally up for that. You know, you just show up and ask you. We don't even need to post the questions ahead of time. I think we're going to do one of those one of these days. Just have everybody start showing up and raising their hand. I want to speak. I want to speak. All right. So I think that's something new we're going to start because this is really, really fun.
That's why you're so good at what you do, Shari. You help so many people because you know so much, but also because you really love doing it and you love helping people, and it comes through so much. I mean, it's just amazing. You're awesome.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I do. I mean, it's been a lot of years, and now to be able to do this with so many thousands of people and all over the world. You know, we wake up in the morning, we look at how, like, new people that are joining our community, and they're from like literally every country in the world right now. And the fact that we could, you know, support anybody, and the fact that we can support all of these moms, all you guys, everybody out there. I have the best job ever. That's what it does. I couldn't think of doing anything else but what I'm doing. So thank you for saying that. I love you all very much. It's late. Everybody wants to go to bed. Make sure that you comment here. Make sure that you like this post. Make sure that you tell me you want a back buddy. Make sure you go over to the post for Rachel's Remedy so that you can win one of the 3 Rachel's Remedies that we're going to give away. And I'm going to say goodnight to all of my guests here. Thank you for being here with us. And I'm going to say goodnight to all my guests in the chat room tonight. We got some great shows coming up this month. I'm going to be posting the calendar and posting the events, some really awesome topics. Very excited. So make sure that you are getting notifications from me, that you're signed up to see my posts first so you don't miss anything, all of our great giveaways. We have another pump we're giving away this week. I'm going to be doing them once a week right now. Yay! Can we get some yays and hearts for that? A pump a week. That's pretty nice. Someone's going to win. So I will see you all very shortly, and love you guys. Have a great night.
Love you too, Shari. Thanks.
We love you.
Thank you.
Shari,
You
thank
guys stay on with me for a minute. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Good night, everybody. Have a good night. Mwah. Bye.